Hi, my name is Susan Clarke, and this is WebVee Guide. We are here this brisk December morning for the International Online Web Festival, which is a festival housing web series and short films together. Now here's Nick Bigtower to tell you the rest.
Filmmakers apply, and there is a pre-selection, and after this pre-selection for the screening of all of them, you are pre-admitted of the semifinals. We can call semifinals, where you have to prove that your content is good, but also your promotion, your how is your package of your content, because digital content, in my opinion, needs a good packaging also. Yeah. After this pre-selection, we go to the social media voting, and project of a short film or web series that got much vote or comments, step up to the final. And the final, normally 20 projects per season get to the final. So at the end of the year we have around 80 official selection. Among these 80 selected projects, we have the jury, 15 jury people that choose the favorite one, and then you have the nomination and then the winner. Yeah, and we are using the same formula of the Oscar. That means that all the nominees of the last year and this year will be the jury member of the next year.
These are things that have been quite prominent throughout my journey around web festivals around the world. They're usually viewed as very, very influential. The International Online Web Festival has an incredibly intimate panel section. And in that sense, it almost felt like you were able to ask questions that you wouldn't necessarily ask at bigger events. So it became a very honest, very accessible process.
Yeah, it's very teasing.
I was kind of taken back by the experience because I've never done anything that small before. But I find that in this instance specifically, there wasn't necessarily a gap between who was a panelist and who was asking the questions, which is sometimes what could happen between other web festivals, because panelists have a certain hierarchy to keep to and their professional level, and anyone who's asking a question might not want to feel like they have said something stupid. In this sense, it was very friendly, very, very informative. They've got some wonderful guests here at the moment, specifically Ren, who we've interviewed before, and we had a great time. We had a lot of things to watch as well, quite a few things being played out before the question session, and we went into a lot of different things about how to approach different audiences via their trailers. In that sense, very, very different, a very informal event, but surprisingly nice. I enjoyed it. The most negative aspect of the panel we've just been to was the amount of people. It's usually a very active, very social situation, panels and giving educational advice. But in this sense, the atmosphere was very much missing in that case. The thing I got out of that panel, me personally, is the chance to join in a bit more. With bigger festivals, sometimes you don't really get a chance to ask questions. In this case, not only did I get that chance, but I was able to join in and impart some of my own wisdom as well, which was nice. We've heard a lot about networking being important for festivals. I think, personally, that it's important, but is it important to every festival, like, for example, the International Online Web Festival, which essentially, originally, is an online web festival. And what we witnessed today was the very first step in that festival becoming an offline festival, a physical celebration. When we've been to other festivals, we have had the most crazy adventures. We've gone walking around cities, we've been on boats, we've been at parties, we've danced till 4 in the morning. This isn't necessarily that kind of festival, so we have to make sure that we're being fair when we talk about the comparisons there. Personally, I think that this web festival could have done with a little bit more of that. But having said that, because it was such a small attendance, we were able to spend time talking to each other when there were big breaks. So if you're an indie web festival, maybe it's worth thinking about what is important, what are the creators actually attending for, and whether for the price, it's even worth attending in the first place. If you have an online web festival, maybe it should stay as an online web festival. However, I'm hopeful that the future holds great things for this festival. One of the main questions that we always ask when we go to a web festival is bringing up the idea of a professional web festival versus an indie web festival and what the benefits are there. With the International Online Web Festival, benefits are that they really do hone in on newcomers. Quite honestly, it's rare for us to go to a festival these days where we don't know a lot of people, and this time it was very exciting for us because we were able to talk to brand new people and get their experiences. But one of the ideas that we always get thrown at us is that it's a networking situation. And you have to kind of weigh up whether a festival that's indie, that has a smaller attendance, has that same kind of feeling for the society that people are after and the exposure for their series. So in a sense, you could weigh that up with this festival. It's a very intimate festival. Is that more beneficial than the bigger ones? That's up to you. So how is this festival? Well, we spoke to Nick directly at the end. We have some really great chats, and I think the heart and the passion was there in order to make this a really, really good festival. Their communication was a little confusing. I did spend a lot of time attempting to figure out where I was supposed to be and when, which was a little unfortunate. However, I did find out eventually that there was a schedule put together, and if you really wanted to find it, it was there for you. It's just that a lot of people had a lot of different stories and not everybody was in the same place at the same time. The sign-in application is about $8, which is amazing. And for anybody scrolling through festivals, you're going to click that button because it's one of the cheapest ones out there. However, if you want to do everything in the festival, it's going to cost you about 60 quid, which when you compare it to other festivals, doesn't quite meet up, because for other festivals you pay 60 quid, that's it, that's all you're paying. That's your sign-up fee and absolutely everything else that the organizers have to give you. So in that respect, you really do need to weigh up what the benefits are for you and what experience you want from the situation. So I wouldn't have viewed it as a networking festival, but at the same time, we were able to have one-to-ones with people that we didn't expect to have because that wasn't part of the scheduling. We might have been able to get on a bit better if they had taken that amount of people and put us in a restaurant so that we could have that social interaction on a more relaxed basis. But unfortunately, we didn't have that experience this time. The advice I would give to improve this festival would be to give sufficient time to research other festivals. As harsh as it sounds, there is a big contrast out there these days, and a lot of even the newer festivals have things a little bit more together than this one did. And don't get me wrong, there were things that were out of Nick's control. However, we have been in festivals where things have spiraled a little bit and it's very quickly come back into focus because they understand their schedule, they understand how many are attending, they understand who's won. In fact, they are completely and utterly in charge of literally everything. You can almost see things going wrong before they do. That wasn't the case with this festival. I would recommend that Nick takes that intelligence and that passion and that drive and the idea to go forward with this festival in the future and really make sure that next time he knows exactly what's going on so the rest of us feel more comfortable. Festival, I genuinely enjoyed hanging out with the creators here. I actually managed to have a full conversation with one of the creators about even the negative side of building a web series, which is something I very rarely have the chance to do. You know, there are stressful moments in making a web series, but no one ever fully wants to talk about that because we all want to rise each other up, and quite rightly so. But I think if I had to pinpoint something, unfortunately, it wasn't a part of the festival whereby that was allowed to happen. I am certain that Nick and the organizers here really did start off with kind of knowing what they wanted out of this. Perhaps their, research wasn't as good, but the skeleton was there. And I know that progression is something that festivals do often, and they manage to blow you out of the water when they do. And people turn up, they go, oh my God, how have you managed to make this out of last year? Well done. And I can see that in Nick. I think he has some great potential, and I'm really looking forward to coming back next year. This has been Susan Clarke at the International Online Web Festival, and this is WebVee Guide.